You know, folks, CPM MagnaCut is a really impressive steel. You're not going to believe this, but I actually use this knife here to cut up all this wood, and it still hasn't lost its edge. It's still razor sharp. Even cut through some nails, and no problem at all. It only seems to be bothered by bricks, so don't cut bricks with your CPM MagnaCut knife because it definitely will dull. But wood, I mean, you can get rid of all your power tools, your saws. You just need one super steel like MagnaCut. As long as it's sharpened well, you can get through all this this work in a day, no problem at all. I'm just kidding, folks. But what I'm not kidding about is the fact that I've got to 600 subscribers recently, and I'm ever so thankful for that. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much for making that happen. I'm speechless. Thanks very much, folks. Howdy, folks. Singing Toad here. Thank you very much for watching my video today, and I hope you're having a super awesome day. So what do we have here today? Well, we have a new Victorinox knife, and when I say new, as in new to me, not new out on the market, but this is a knife that I've wanted for a little while, actually for quite some time, and I've never gotten around to buying it, and I finally decided to take my own advice and pull the trigger on it, because you just never know when a brand might decide to discontinue something, or that brand entirely gets discontinued. It does happen, folks. So let's go ahead and take a look at this knife. And before I get into it, I just want to quickly make mention that I did purchase this knife with my own money from Blaze Canada, and it did cost, what was it here? I have my notes here. Swiss Army, $41.99, there we go. So this knife cost me $41.99 Canadian, and I'll put that up on the screen, the translation to US currency, but plus shipping and handling, taxes, and I also went through this and just double checked it and make sure that everything was fine before I did my video. So that's what this side of the box looks like, and wow, that is just not focusing. Come on, camera. Come on. Unfortunately, there's just too much glare, but this is all in French because this knife is being sent to Canada, and our laws require, both English and French to be printed on it. So let's go ahead to the English side. And I don't know how well you can read that, but you just have the freeze frame. Of course, it says Swiss made in the bottom. And then that's the other side, so that's the barcode side. And I'm holding my finger on this end because I have opened up the box on this end. And then the big reveal is, this is the Victorinox Rambler. And of course there's your model number, which is like 100 digits long, so I'm not going to read that out. And I think it's funny that it says boxed. I guess there's a version that's not boxed. I don't know. Anyway, now what's interesting is that when I opened up the box, that's all that was inside there. That's it. Just the knife. The slot where there should be some paperwork had nothing in it. So that concerns me a little bit. Any other Victorinox knife I've ever gotten came with a little piece of paper inside. This one did not, so that's a little strange. Folks, if you've ever experienced this before, please let me know, because this is the first Victorinox knife I've ever purchased in my life that when I opened the box, there was no paperwork inside with it. Okay? A little weird. A little weird for me anyway. But nevertheless, here's the little wee knife itself. This is a 58mm Celador version. That's what that side looks like. That's the other side. That's that side, that end, and that end. So let's just go quickly through the tools that it has. So we're going to start with the blade. So little wee tiny pen blade. And this knife is very similar to the SD Classic, but it does have one major difference that I'll get into momentarily. And then on the tang stamp, of course the camera's absolutely not going to focus in on this, but it does say Victorinox, Swiss made and stainless. And yep, sharp. Every Victorinox I ever had in the box came sharp. Other side here, we have the little nail file and little flathead screwdriver there. And then of course we have the dandy little wee tiny pair of scissors. And these are quite useful and functional. And then we also have the toothpick, and alternatively we have the tweezers. But the last tool that this guy has that makes it the most interesting is this guy right here. How do we get into it? Where's the nail nick? There it is. But we have this little thing. So this kind of multi-tool thing here has a little Phillips driver, little micro Phillips, well, not a micro, but it's a little wee small Phillips driver on the end, wire bender, and cap lifter. And what really makes this, handy to me and why I want this knife over the standard SD is because of this tool. I'm always finding myself in a scenario where I just need a small Phillips driver to open things up and to get into things. And being a father and having 2 younger children, they get toys and gadgets and gizmos on Christmas and need to open them up and get the batteries in them. Just having a little tiny screwdriver like that is just going to suit the bill in order to get in there, open it up, put the batteries in, and then my children can start playing with their new fang-dangled toy or gizmo. So dandy little tool, and that is definitely an upgrade over the standard SD. So let's go ahead and bring in an SD, which is this guy right here. And of course, it has the main blade. It has the there's a little bit of rust up in there. No, that's just crud, never mind. It's not rust. Nail file and whatnot. And then of course it's got the scissors on the other side. And of course it's got the toothpick and the tweezers, but it does not have that special tool there. But there also is one other major difference between the SD and the Rambler, why I wanted the upgrade too. And that is when we open up the main blades, now, do you notice something? Excuse me, my voice just cracked because I've just hit puberty. And my focus is being weird again. But if you notice, the shield is on this side and the blade opens towards the keychain attachment, the key ring, where on the Rambler, the shield's on the other side and the main blade opens away from the key ring. And that is a big difference. And the reason being is that if I'm going to have this on my keys, which is where I used to carry this one all the time, if your keys are attached here, it makes it difficult to use this blade because you've got your keys are now over here and they're in your hand and they're in the way when you're trying to cut. Now, of course, when I use this guy and I open it up, my keys are way over here. I can hold them down in my hand here and I can do my cut, and my keys that are dangling off the end here are not getting involved in what I'm trying to cut. So I'm not going to say that this is a bad design, but this is definitely a better design. So anyway, that there is the Rambler, and it's definitely a little wee knife that I've wanted for a long time, and I'm glad to have it. So we're just going to go ahead and place it right beside the SD Classic. And while I have these out on my table, I might as well just compare it against a standard, what is this, a 91mm, I think is what they call that. Just to give you a quick size comparison. And while I have it with me, the one-handed Trekker, which I think is like a 111mm or something of that. If I have that wrong, I'll annotate that on the screen somewhere. But just for some quick size comparisons there. Alright, so my final thoughts on this little wee guy here is I think this is a dandy little upgrade over the SD Classic, and for the few dollars difference in price, I would say it's worth the upgrade. Just based on the two things, because you get this handy little tool here, and you get the blade that opens opposite to the key ring, which just in my opinion is a smarter and better design. So anyway, there we have it, folks. Victorinox Rambler. Tell me what you think. Do you think it's a dandy little pocket knife, or keychain knife, fifth pocket knife, whatever you want to call it? Do you think it's a waste of money? I'd like to know your opinion. Do you have one? Do you hate them? Do you love them? Tell me down in the comments. I always enjoy reading your comments and interacting with you folks. Take good care, my friends. Thanks for watching. This is Singing Toad, signing out.